Welcome to the Part-Time Podcast. My name is Chris, and this week I'm joined live in studio by my full-time friends Tim.
Hoy hoy.
And Addison.
Addison.
And we're also joined by a very special guest this week. The people have spoken, and we are giving them what they want, finally, after a year and a half, 2 years of doing this. We have brought you Frank. Say hi, Frank.
I prepared an opening line.
I mean, it's live streamed, so you get to do do-overs.
Right,
That's how it works. But we're very happy to have Frank in studio.
Yeah, this has been a long time in the making, long time coming. We figured everybody loves our conspiracy episodes.
Oh yeah.
And
almost too much.
It's it's a little odd. So we figured, why not make this extra jump again? We're going to bring a guest back like we've been doing for our conspiracy episodes, and baby, we're live streaming right now on Twitch. First week doing this, pretty excited.
Yeah, well, and the shadowy the shadowy cabals that are out there trying to keep us down can't stop us this week because we're coming live to the people. We've done our own research. We're here to share that research with you, and we couldn't be more excited. Almost as excited as my fantasy football team killing it this week.
Really?
Good job.
What's your point? How many points you scored this week?
150.
Whoa!
Yeah,
dang.
That is a far cry from the 91 points I scored last week. So I'm in there making trades every week. I'm using that waiver wire. No one else is doing it, and I'm just snatching them up.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess since we're bringing up fantasy football, I mean, should I bring up that I'm 3-0, baby?
Nice.
Wow.
No line changes. I'm just beast moding out. 143 points this week for me. No big deal. It's not a contest, but it is.
Yeah, it's always you can always hold your head a little bit higher at the water cooler knowing your fake football team is better than everyone else's.
It's true. Yeah. I felt really good about mine too, because I intentionally picked people that I knew other guys were really excited about, and I just burned really early picks to get those people.
Yeah.
And they're 0-3. All these guys are 0-3 that I stole players from.
Wow.
And they're very upset with me.
But, rightfully so.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Frank as a sportsman. Are you do you do sports, Frank?
Much like Addison, we did the manliest sports we could, where we wore Speedos and hopped in the water with other wet men. So I was water polo and swim. Other than that, I haven't kept up with football this year. I am a Packer fan, though.
What?
Yeah.
Are you from Green Bay?
No.
Do you have to be?
Have you ever been there?
Do you have to be?
Okay. Here's my thing with sport. Okay. There's 30 teams. Okay.
There's 32.
He knows more about sports.
So there's 32 teams.
Okay.
There's 50 states.
Yes.
Several states have multiple teams.
Sure.
So if you live in a state in a geographical area, and that's where you grew up, that has a team, you should be kind of preconditioned to be that's my team.
I have a manager who's from Ohio, and he's a Cowboy fan. If we go by that logic, he should be a Browns fan.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
yeah, just like you should be a Niners or a Chargers or a Raiders or a Rams. We have now we have 3, but we had 4 teams in California.
See, I'm a woken individual in current year, and so if someone tells me they identify as a Packers fan, I'm gonna believe them.
Okay, I mean, I didn't say I didn't believe him. I was in disbelief with the logic behind being a Packers fan.
I have the cheese helmet in the car if you want me to grab it.
I really don't.
That would improve the stream, I would say, though, if you had the cheese helmet.
Yeah.
I'll send it to Addison. He can wear it next week.
Yeah, I love cheese.
I feel like mascots are a weird thing, and the fact that like we have people who dress up as a mascot, that's just like a totally normal thing that happens at an event. Like we had our high school mascot was a pioneer, right? Do you ever remember seeing someone dress up as like a pioneer at any one of our events?
I don't think so.
I don't. Where we're at in like Central California, it's not really like a thing. Like the mascot thing, it's not like as big of a thing.
Yeah.
But like in Texas or like Oklahoma, you go to those states, and those people are very serious about their mascots.
Yes.
When I went to Mount Whitney, my sophomore year, there was a guy who wore the costume, but he would mostly just sit in the far back, like against the student section of the stadium, and then just wait for the halftime where he would do like just like these like little girly cheerleader moves, but like the real basic form that you could do when it's 110 degrees in August.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why they're not a thing here, because I mean, into November we're pushing triple digits. Yeah. And inside of what I'm assuming is a 100% polyester suit, probably not fun.
Plus, I think our mascot has a flintlock rifle, which current year,
maybe it's not okay anymore.
They need to give him an AR-15.
I moved to the only place where my local high school is also the Pioneers, and they have the same exact color scheme as Mount Whitney.
What?
And their Pioneer, instead of having a flintlock rifle, holds a Bowie knife.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would win in that fight?
Well, back then, all you have to do is wait for them to miss with their incredibly inaccurate flintlock rifle, and then you just run up to them with your knife.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. True.
I mean, that's what Leonardo DiCaprio did in that movie where he got snubbed for the Oscar.
Wait, didn't he win the Oscar?
Yeah, for The Revenant?
Yeah.
Did he win? Oh, I just assume he's always losing. Always be losing. That's his title.
That movie was a true story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I also believe it was his first Oscar, too.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I heard he went in depth, like he's a vegetarian, but he ate like a bison liver to like, because he's such a method actor.
Right.
He like went that far into it, and I mean, it seemed to work. He got the Oscar.
So he ate murder. Okay. Good for him.
What's the difference between a method actor and a meth head actor?
Not much.
Not much. After I've done a few of these 911 calls, not much. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Anything crazy happen on the ambulance this week?
I was telling Frank earlier that I took 2 different people to like an old folks home that were born before World War II.
Wow.
Yeah. One was like 1939 or something like that. And one was like 1929. I was like, whoa, these people are so old.
Yeah.
And my partner was like, why? What's wrong? I'm like, nothing. It just amazes me that they're still alive.
Yeah. Were you like stroking them and like asking them for all their secrets? Like, tell me your secrets, wizard.
No, but I did take this one kid up to Fresno area. And this is not a HIPAA violation because I'm not giving any identifiable information about this person. And I was talking to him because it's a 30-minute, 45-minute drive to where we're going. And I was like, so, like, what are you into? And he's like, I like computers. I was like, oh, you do? Tell me what RAM does. And he's like, I don't know what RAM is. I'm like, well, it's random access memory. He's like, I like doing stuff on the computer.
Oh, did you give him the website where he could download RAM?
No, but I should have given him a link to our podcast.
Yeah, if you like doing stuff on computers, we're going to be live Monday night around 9:00 on Twitch.
Yeah. The same kind of person that you'll see like a younger person wearing like a Rolling Stones t-shirt and be like, oh, you like the Rolling Stones? Name 3 of their songs.
Yeah.
Are they actually letting you ride in the ambulance now, or do you still have to hold onto the back even on the freeway?
Yeah, no.
You didn't answer that. I was waiting for the answer.
Yeah. I guess we got our answer. He is on the back. If you see someone on the back of an ambulance, wave at them. It's Addison. Maybe toss them a bottle of water.
Yeah.
What's up, Scott? How's it going? Should we talk to chat for a second?
Yeah,
Okay,
in chat. We got Scott in the chat from Chick-fil-A. Rob's here. Rob sent a puking emoji. Apparently Rob's team killed it too.
Leaf? Good job, Rob.
Good job, Rob.
Who's Spooky Leaf? They're right. My Facebook is goated.
Yeah. I don't know if their reference to sliced bread is referencing your love for bread tube, but if it is, then right on the money. Addison loves bread tube.
It's true.
I
know Frank. I worked at Home Depot. Oh no, wait, it's Frank. Oh, hey Frank, it's Scott. So yeah, I know Scott. I worked with Scott in San Diego in Home Depot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is weird.
Yeah.
So Scott worked with Addison at Home Depot.
Giving a lot of personal information about our friend Scott here, by the way.
Oh no, Home Depot. But so after I graduated, I moved to San Diego to go to college. I worked at Chick-fil-A. Me and Scott were co-workers. And so it's weird that me and Addison have a mutual friend from a place 300 miles away when we had never actually met before until Home Depot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did Scott link you guys up?
No, it was...
You took a picture of me or something like that because I was doing something stupid at work.
I believe we were working out in his at-home bathroom.
Yeah.
And...
That is a sentence I've never heard before.
I got boatloads of information. I'll tie everything back. But no, so me and Addison were working out, and I posted a thirst trap of Addison. Thirst trap because a lot of maybe underage girls slid up saying Addison was hot. Anyway, so
a dad bod life. Yeah. Okay.
I call him Daddy Addy. We don't have to talk about all that.
If Amanda's watching, turn off the stream now, please.
Yeah. Shut it down.
Look at that blush. Look at that blush he's got going.
Stop.
Rosy complexion. See why all the 17-year-old girls like him.
Look at his boob sweat.
But in the midst of all that, then Scott slid up, and then he just kind of told me, hey, I used to work with him. I know him. So it all came full circle.
Nice. Well, that's cool.
Very small world.
Well, we don't know who Spooky Keef is.
Spooky Leaf?
It's Keef. It's Keef with a K.
Yeah, Spooky Keef. Rob, that's my brother. Rob, thanks for joining in. I know you've had a very long day, and it's nothing but stressful for you with a pair of 3-year-old twins. But we are very grateful that you're here. Ooh, we got another live one in the chat. Frank is a cutie.
What's up? You know how it goes. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, we hopefully the people here are here not just for Frank and the eye candy that he is, but for the subject matter we've got prepared for everybody, because we always have fun bringing this. As I said, we've done our own research, and we encourage you to do your own. But we're here to bring it to you if you don't want to do it. We're gonna expose you to some more factually based conspiracy theories this week.
I'm so excited for this, guys. I know Addison is about to jump out of his fucking seat. He's so excited. But I love these episodes. Prepping for this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, do you want to go first this week?
Yeah, let's do this, shall we? I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Did the world actually end in 2012,
Ooh.
and we just haven't figured it out yet.
I mean, current events suggest yes.
I mean, that's what I was like. Think back, right? Okay, so we had leading up to 2012, there was all this talk about the Mayan calendar. There were all these like, crazy Christian groups saying like, "Oh, we figured it out. We decoded the Bible, and it's 2012." And we've like made fun of these, like specifically not me. I've made fun of these people a lot for having believed this until I stumbled across this thread, and guys, I think the world ended in 2012.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Let's hear that research.
So this is coming to us from Twitter, from Nick Hinton, at Nick Hinton at Twitter, wrote this thread, and I went through all of his posts and all of his like links and everything, and I seriously can't find fault with this, guys. I think this is the most factually based conspiracy theory we've ever talked about.
All right.
So he gets into it talking about how he feels like he's seen this question asked before. Like, did the world end and what was going on? Like, everything has kind of been shit since then. Like the summer of 2016, lit, couldn't have been better, like out of this world, great. But like other than that, like everything has pretty much sucked since 2012. So this comes to us because in 2012, there was a group of scientists called CERN, CERN.
Let's search for, or that's SETI.
SETI.
CERN is the Hadron Collider, right?
Something like that, yeah. But they're the ones who discovered the Higgs boson.
Yeah.
AKA the God particle.
Right, or as Stephen Hawking would predict, that we would undergo a catastrophic vacuum decay upon the discovery of this particle. So what would happen if the universe was destroyed? Like, would we know about it? Like, what if they accidentally created a black hole when they discovered the Higgs boson, and we've been sucked into it, into an alternate reality?
Man.
I mean, he puts here that maybe it has something to do with growing up and getting older, but ever since 2012, it seems like the world descends more and more into chaos every single day. Also, time feels like it's sped up a lot.
It does feel faster.
We're in that
faster.
We're in that stage of spaghettification of the black hole where it's like it gets stretched out.
Yeah, and so we're like accelerating through this.
Yeah.
It seems like almost every day there's some sort of calamity happening. The mass shootings, they only stay in the headlines for like an hour because there's another one.
Yeah.
They're happening more and more. I mean, we fucking elected Donald Trump as president of the United States. Maybe we're in a similar situation to like that show, The Good Place. I know, Chris, you're a fan of that show, right?
Yeah. Hopefully the wormhole can loop us back around so I can watch it again for the first time.
Yeah. So what Nick Hinton believes is that like reality is just a series of simulations. So perhaps the universe was destroyed by CERN, but our collective consciousness was just moved over to a parallel universe that's like almost identical, but not quite. Which brings up the mandala effect.
Yeah, we talked about that just the last episode or two.
Right. And so like in the mandala effect, there's like a few key things that have like people always point to, right? That's like the Bernstein Bears versus the Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I personally remember it as the Bernstein Bears. with an en,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently it's AIN, which seems wildly incorrect for some reason.
Yeah.
Also, like, how would you spell the brand Febreze?
FBR.
You're missing an E in there.
Oh yeah. Febreze. So FEBREEZE.
Right. But that's not how it's spelled on the can. I could go get one right now. It's got one less E. It's BREZE.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But
Oh,
like,
wow.
I can almost guarantee you when it came out that it was Febreze with 2 E's. Right? Or how about like the brand Skechers?
SCK get ECHERS.
That's the real spelling, is SKECHERS. But like, don't you remember it being like Skechers, like to sketch, like with a TCH?
Yeah.
Yes.
What about the show Looney Tunes?
LOONEY
And then
hyphen TOONS.
wrong. It's
No.
TUNES.
No,
Really?
it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
man.
because it's tunes like music. It's crazy music,
But no, but Looney Tunes is a cartoon show.
but it's also like. Dun, 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 dun.
Whoa, copyright.
Or like JC Penney.
PENNY.
It's PENNEY is the way it's actually spelled.
Penny.
Well, it's not spelled at all anymore because they went out of business, right?
Well, they've like filed Chapter 11 and closed like 95% of their stores, but whatever.
Yeah.
So one of the other things, where's the Statue of Liberty located?
Staten Island.
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island.
You would think in pre-2012 existence, it was on Ellis Island.
No, wait
Where's
a second.
where's it now?
The Statue of Liberty resides on Liberty Island,
Oh, okay.
which is not Ellis Island. It's a different island, like separate from Ellis Island.
They moved
Weird.
it?
It got moved in 2012. In this universe, it's on a different island. So there's all these threads on 4chan and on Reddit of people posting pictures, like hashtag at location, the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm.
When that location, you can't geotag it anymore.
Oh.
Because it doesn't exist. Like the Statue of Liberty is not on Ellis Island; it's on Liberty Island.
Man.
Also,
I can't believe they did it.
Yeah.
Those damn dirty apes.
the other thing about the Statue of Liberty is apparently 100 years ago, they eliminated the ability for you to go up into the torch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like thousands of people have posted pictures of like school field trips in the torch.
What?
Yeah.
So they're crisis
I've been,
actors?
I've been, but it was post 9/11, so like you couldn't even get inside of the bottom area of it. You could like walk around it,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah, but like there's pictures of people like in the torch taking pictures of Ground Zero, because you could see the Twin Towers or Ground Zero now. You could see that from the top of the Statue of Liberty.
Weird.
But like you can't get to that spot. For 100 years, you've not been allowed to get to that spot.
Maybe these are like
allegedly
educational rich kids.
No, this is like thousands of people have done this. So there's also a thing where there's an entire website devoted to pictures of the Statue of Liberty base,
Mm-hmm.
where people are standing in front of it and posing for pictures, and the Statue of Liberty is not there. Like it looks like they've been photoshopped, but they actually haven't been photoshopped. It's
Right.
like the Statue of Liberty is just not there because they're taking pictures of themselves at Ellis Island,
Huh.
where the Statue of Liberty was pre-2012 when we moved to a parallel universe.
So they did move it.
This is like, have you all read the book or watched the Amazon show Man in the High Castle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it is a very similar premise to in that show or the book, where like alternate histories and realities are happening all around you, and like they bleed in and out of each other. So like in Man in the High Castle, the Nazis and Japan won World War II, but somehow political propaganda from our current universe made its way into their universe, and so all of this contraband is being passed around where it shows like the Allies winning World War II on these like film reels, and people can't make heads or tails of it because in their reality, the Nazis won, and like Japan is governing San Francisco, right? They like carved up the U.S.
Right.
And you know, they can go to certain spots where like the realities have like a soft spot, and they can kind of see into the other side, and like, you know, it doesn't quite make sense, but it's sort of what you're explaining here. Is like you can be in one place, but you can actually be in multiple places at once because reality is like bending around you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we discovered Higgs boson. Like, according to Stephen Hawking, like it was supposed to destroy time and space at that point, and we did it. So maybe it did.
Maybe it did.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Another, yeah. If I were to ask you guys what the greatest attack carried out on United States soil was, what would you say that would be?
January 6th. Okay, how are you defining the greatest attack?
So like the highest casualty, most damage, deepest penetration.
Oh baby.
Oh yeah.
My guess would be like Pearl Harbor.
I was gonna say Pearl Harbor, but 9/11 might also, based on like kill count, might also be
right. So like
up there.
That's what in school we're taught. Like at least when we were in elementary school, we're young enough that like, or we're old enough, I guess, that like 9/11 hadn't happened, and so we were always told like the greatest attack, like the first time we were attacked on our soil, was Pearl Harbor.
Maybe like Battle of Wounded Knee, where we like massacred a bunch of Indians.
Right, but obviously American history is not going to like teach that.
Count
the
that.
Civil War, since it was all American casualties.
Yeah.
So, what about an attack that took place on U.S. soil right before World War I?
What would that be?
No.
So Germany attacked the United States.
Really?
It was considered one of the largest artificial non-nuclear explosions to have ever occurred. And
Really?
here's a news article. Big munitions explosion at Black Tom. 50 believed dead, 21 hurt in city hospital. Damaged $75 million.
Whoa. That's their time or our time?
That's like in history, if you were to like go right now and Google this, you'd find this attack. However, we were never told about this in school. It was like never once did I hear that in World War I, the Germans were blowing shit up in the United States.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, but it happened. You can look it up.
But maybe it didn't happen in our timeline, and it happened in this new timeline.
Exactly. So now we can find it because it's part of the history of this universe we're in.
Right.
But in our the universe that we were born in, didn't happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like with the dinosaur bones, where it's like, you know, dinosaurs were never really alive on our planet. Our planet just comes from like an older planet.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the same thing for us. Like Germany never attacked us during World War I.
Right.
But in this new universe we live in, they did.
Yeah. So that explosion, that attack, is the reason why you can't go in the torch on in the Statue of Liberty.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the correlation between the two?
Because it was an explosion, a terrorist attack took place in New York City.
Wow.
Huh. Well, that's fascinating because now I'm trying to like comb through my like memory and see if there's anything that I remember happening that like didn't actually happen to other people. But I suppose if anyone's listening right now or tuning in, like if you have an experience like this or you know of one, please either drop it in the chat or, you know, you can message it to us at pt.podcasters@gmail.com. We'd love to hear these stories.
Any ideas that you have about the Mandela effect? Any experiences that you have? We'd love to hear about it, because this week, guys, I am convinced that the world ended in 2012.
Yeah.
And we're in a different parallel universe.
We're on Earth 2.0.
Yeah. Or maybe Earth -79742B. Who knows, man? I don't know what it's called.
Maybe that's why no one could understand Elon Musk's child's name, because that language is part of, like, you know, an alternate Earth, and they just have access to it, right? But we don't.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that fucked up my whole perspective on life. So, dig into that this week, guys. And I don't know. What do you got, Addison?
Well, where's my phone? Hold on. Very professional here. All right, so this one requires a little bit of backstory. It turns out that my wife's uncle, my wife's uncle is like a doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
Really into it. We found out about this because my wife's grandfather died, and so his daughter, like the family was over, like taking care of the estate and everything. And I was talking to their daughter, and I was like, "Hey, what are your parents' plan for like when they die?" And she's like, "Oh, they don't have a plan. They're going to be raptured."
Oh, what?
What?
Yeah, they believe that they're going to be lifted up in the last days and like not have to worry about burying their bodies because their bodies are going to be resurrected.
Like that movie with Seth Rogen and all his buddies, This Is the End?
Yeah.
Like literally just be like, whoop.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the level of like interesting people they are, to say it very nicely.
Yeah.
Okay. So she told me he was a doomsday prepper, and then he had a YouTube channel and everything. I was like, I gotta check this out.
Oh, nice.
You know, as soon as you told me I'm related somehow to a crazy person, like I'm in. So I went to their website and I was looking it up, and I saw that they had a book for sale about something called The Great Reset.
The Great
I'm
Reset.
sorry, what?
The Great Reset.
Okay.
Like we started over.
Yeah, like they're going to reset all of society.
Is this before or after the 10,000-year leap or whatever?
So I actually paid money to buy this book.
Oh, shit. You supported these insane people?
Could have gotten it for free.
Yeah, listen. You could have Chris could have rented it at the library.
This is not a book you can rent at the library. First and foremost, like I paid only a couple dollars for this, and I signed up. I like paid for it with your name, Tim.
Fuck.
As I do with everything else in this world that's crazy. Anytime I sign up for a newsletter, like, I also signed up for their newsletters, so there'll be content coming in the future from them.
Yeah.
So I get emailed like 3 times a day. Hey, Tim Cox. Did you know Fox News bent over backwards for Joe Biden?
Yeah, they did.
That's the kind of emails I'm getting now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this book is called Surviving the Great Reset. And the cover has a digitized Earth in the background with 3 very evil-looking people. And one of them is even doing like a Mr. Burns, like, excellent.
Yeah.
And then there's the Statue of Liberty in flames and toppled over.
From Germany.
From Germany, yes. I'm not going to cover all these things. Some of the table contents is taking your freedom of religion, taking your guns, crushing taxes, taking your bank account, making you human capital, bugs in your body.
Bugs in your body?
These are chapter titles?
Yes. And destroying your sex life.
What?
So you can't go after that.
That's the one I'm doing.
Does it just say like I wrote this book and like that's the only evidence there's?
So clearly, this person's very concerned about what's going on with other people's sex life.
Obviously.
And he wants to let you all know, and I want to let everybody else listening know how, quote unquote, they are trying to destroy your sex life.
And by they, you mean like the Dems, right? Like this is all like
This sounds like MAGA propaganda. I don't know.
There's one more aspect living in our world that I want to touch on, and that is and that is that the global elites hate the thought of you having sex. Yes, they are all perverts who probably flew to Jeffrey Epstein's island on his private jet, but they can't have you having sex, and more importantly, reproducing all willy-nilly.
oh, this is like a current book.
Yes.
Like this is I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
This was written current year.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Here we go. During the lockdowns, it became almost impossible for people to meet, date, and have sex.
Mm-hmm.
This is a coronavirus thing. It was a pandemic to stop you from boning.
Yeah. Joe Biden started the Wuhan virus so that nobody would have sex anymore.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see okay. Countless agencies have issued guidelines for sex during the COVID-19 pandemic that made sex sound gross and unappealing.
Just like
Like what?
just like doggy style and like masks on?
Look it up.
Okay.
They're okay with putting a paper bag over their head, but when you get to a mask, it's just too much.
Right. They get full gimp suit. Okay. Like paper mask over the mouth? Not all right.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
They want you to wear a mask during sex and associate sex with things like analingus, which you should avoid during COVID, they say. so that you'll be turned off by the very notion of being with other people. Making people terrified of proximity to other human beings during the pandemic is part of eliminating normal, healthy dating and sex life patterns. If you're isolated at home looking at porn, you're not out there meeting people and having sex with them.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I have plenty of friends who still like legit were like asking their partners for like negative tests.
Yeah.
And just like still going at it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just good to go. Like, as long as you're safe about it, you're still good.
Yeah.
What kind of traction are they trying to gain with this?
Like, they want you to know, obviously, Frank, that they're trying to stop you from having sex because then you're going to procreate. And
Yeah.
You can't have that.
It's because you're an unwashed part of the unwashed masses.
Yeah.
They are also feeding the war between the sexes so that any advance a man makes towards a woman is considered sexual harassment or even sexual assault, which further eliminates normal, healthy dating and sex partners.
Okay.
I feel like the people who are writing this are the problem for this sexual assault. They're just trying to get the heat off their back.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
The goal is simple: to destroy the family. They have to destroy couples, and to destroy couples, they have to alienate men and women from each other. Now we have gay thruples, which are threesomes, he adds. Designer-made babies through fertilized eggs and surrogates, destroying the...
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
The designer-made part, like, we've been doing, like, in vitro fertilization for decades.
Yeah.
Like,
that's all part of the plan, Tim.
At least 30 years. And the designer portion, like where you're using CRISPR to like gene edit, has been outlawed.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even allowed like in any country other than I think China is.
That's what they want you to think, though.
So there are no designer babies. Like, just not being able to get pregnant the normal way and like do an in vitro. That's not a problem. Like, it's never been a problem.
I can't stop from imagining, like, every time you say designer baby, it's just like a hype beast, like, oh, did you get the new Supreme baby?
Yeah, got that collab, baby.
Yeah.
The Cardi B X McDonald's baby.
I just think, like, the rapper designer as a baby.
It's just a baby that has a grill and just sings Panda over and over.
They're destroying the fabric of the nuclear family and further alienating men from women. You may think that sounds nuts, but look it up. Literally says
Where?
that.
Where are you supposed to look it up at?
Cite your source.
Is there a
That's all we're
footnote?
asking for.
Tell me there's a footnote.
Rough draft? Like, what am I supposed to believe?
Testosterone counts among young men are already dropping to alarming levels, and that is by design.
Mm-hmm.
By neutering generations of men and fostering hostility towards men and among women. By neutering generations of men and fostering hostility towards men among women through radical feminism, the elites have created a world in which only babies conceived will be created artificially. The goal is, again, to destroy normal couples and families so that the elites can control global birth rates.
How much time do you think this person has spent on Jordan Peterson's website? Like, Jordan Peterson is this person's like idol, right?
He sounds so smart.
Yeah, but like Jordan Peterson, like before he got like
Addicted to benzos.
yeah, pre like moving to Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I want to imagine this is being told to us by those companies that are like trying to propagate that unvaccinated sperm is worth more.
Oh, it is,
This
yeah.
is them. The business is dying down since vaccine rates are going up. This is them trying to drill every last bit of your semen out of your body for a higher profit.
Well, come and take it. That's all I gotta say.
I need that now. The freaking yellow, the Gadsden flag with the dick on it.
Yeah. It says, "Come and get it."
Oh man, yeah. It says, "Please tread on me." It's like a foot stepping on someone.
That's the gift one we're waiting for. By the way, TM,
Yeah.
we're trademarking
It's ours.
that.
If we
we're
sold a
making
shirt,
that
we
flag.
need a if we ever get in the merch business, we need a "Please tread on me" shirt.
This is why they're always going on about overpopulation, even though many Western nations are experiencing birth rates below replacement level, meaning their populations are declining. It is why the Chinese communists enforced a one-child policy on Chinese families for years. The elites have designs on the fabric of our society right down to the very personal, very intimate level of your sex life. In other words, nothing good will come from obeying them.
Wow.
Amen.
You know what I did, Padre, today is Cristo como Dios. All right.
Which is like, okay, so the crazy thing to me about all that is like, this guy's desperate for people to start fucking.
Yeah.
Or he's like a total incel.
Yeah.
This is an incel. Oh
Ooh.
my god, dude. That's what this is. This guy has been rejected and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And nobody will have sex with him. And so he's just so boner rage writing this chapter. Like, that's what this is.
Right.
Oh my god.
You said this was your wife's uncle?
Yes.
And he's not
He
married.
wrote this book.
Wait, okay, so wait, I don't know if this book is featured on my wife's uncle's website. I don't know if he's the actual author.
I see. Okay.
But this is like on every page, at the bottom of every page, it's like, buy this book, buy this book, buy this book.
Wow.
I have to assume he's getting some sort of royalty or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's made tens of dollars off of this.
at least like from Tim Cox.
I'm just imagining a person who's so concerned about the elites not wanting you to have sex, but then, and I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this person's probably some sort of hyper-conservative Christian who his very existence is dictated by the fact that the church doesn't want you to have sex until you're married.
Maybe
so
this is a fetish thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like maybe they get off on making people panic about not having their own free will when it comes to having sex.
Oh.
So they like panic porn, if you will.
Panic porn.
Panic porn. Panic at the porno.
Panic at the Dick.
Panic at the Dick Show.
Yeah, Dick Show. Oh man, I this is our conspiracy episode, and you have presented us with a lot of facts, so I have to believe it. I can't be any more credulous than I am at this moment.
Yeah. I at least now I have something to blame my dry spell on. It's on the Dems.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton doesn't want me to have sex anymore.
Right.
That's what it is.
Maybe those emails that she deleted were all the ads that were full of me saying horny singles in your area.
Yeah.
So that's why I never was advertised.
Maybe they were the responses to the unsolicited dick pics I sent on Tinder and Bumble. Oh.
See, I was starting to think it was me, but now this is all making sense.
The FBI is filtering all of your messages first, is what's happening. And then they're trying to respond back with their special characters list that they've made.
Yeah. It seems so crazy to me that there's this obsession with the elites, but they can't really ever point to anything concrete that the quote unquote elites are actually doing.
Yeah.
It's just more like they're trying to put bugs in your body, or they're trying to control your sex life. It's are they controlling your sex life? In what way are they they're sure there was a pandemic, but you could have at any point gone and had sex with somebody if you really wanted to.
Well, see, I tried, but there was a pallet of bricks that was just left in front of their front door. And so I couldn't get in.
Right.
Yeah. I think George Soros paid for those bricks.
Yeah. It's soup for my family.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny. How would you even know? If they've put bugs in your body to stop you from having sex or control your thoughts, how can you even trust your own thoughts to know that the thoughts you're having now are the thoughts that they want you to have, or your own thoughts?
That's how good they are, man. The elites have put those thoughts into your mind.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Chris is infected with the bugs.
So I brought something this week that actually might throw fuel onto the fire of shadowy elites.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Gosh.
And I don't know if you all are ready for this, but I if you want to be ready, I would suggest grabbing the nearest feather near you and be prepared to tickle your partner.
Oh, brother.
Me and Addison are thigh to thigh right now, so I might have to reach too far over each other.
Well, I've got a whole drawer of feathers in the other room if you guys want.
Wait a second.
I'm going to take us all on a journey into the world of competitive tickling.
Oh.
And to start it off, I am not technically savvy enough at the moment, or capable enough, I guess I should say, to put this video live on stream. But you can go to YouTube, and if you just search competitive tickling team, you will find a video of a few young men sitting on a table.
Do you like
They're wearing soccer jerseys, and they're reading from a paper, saying their names and what they like to do and why they're into competitive tickling. And then it cuts to a scene where someone from behind the camera is instructing them to start tickling in a specific area, and that person has to they have to try to maintain a tickle for as long as that person can handle it, right?
Yeah.
And these are like young men. Always college-aged young men. Predominantly white.
Yeah, of course.
And there's
Is
always
this a sex slave thing? Should we be worried?
We'll get to this. It is almost always one of the guys straddling someone else on a soft table while the other two are tickling their feet, right? And if you didn't know any better, it just looks kind of weird and it's kind of like a funny haha thing. Look how weird these people are. There's much, much more to this story than just some weird YouTube videos. So there's this guy. His name was David Ferrier. He's from New Zealand, and he wrote for some New Zealand news outlet, and his beat was like the quirky, odd stories section. And he came across this video I just described to you about these guys tickling each other, and he discovers that it's produced by this company called Jane O'Brien Media. He contacts Jane O'Brien Media on Facebook, because this is back in like 2014 or something. Contacts him on Facebook, says like, hey, I want to do a story on you guys. I just, can I get a quick interview? I want to know what this is all about. Just off the top of your head, how do you think, like, what would you think would be a normal response to that question? Like, even if you didn't want to do the interview.
I'm only going to do this interview if you compete.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what you would have said, but what they come back with, maybe like a day or two later, is, and I'm about to read this, it says, this is from Jane O'Brien Media to David Ferrier on Facebook. It says, so far, about 5 New Zealanders have participated in these videos, but to be brutally frank, no pun intended there.
That's you.
That sounds like a girl's thing.
To be brutally frank, association with a homosexual journalist is not something that we will embrace.
What? Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. We desperately do not want a homosexual participant base applying for this project. My concern is that your, quote, journalistic style, reputation, and fan base, unquote, is in your own country. This is offered in earnest and strictly professional. So,
wait.
This media...
I heard you correctly say that it was only males that competed in this?
Yes. Strictly males straddling each other on a soft tabletop where some are tickling the feet and others are tickling under the armpits and chest. And
Jesus
groin.
Christ.
Yeah, I wanted to be clear that this is tickling, right?
Yeah. Right. And so the journalist is like, what? Like, I just wanted an interview. And then they respond back with more stuff like, shame on you. We don't want anything to do with little gay Kiwis.
What? Oh my gosh.
And the journalist is like, he's not even gay. He's bisexual, right? But like, that has nothing to do with this. Because like, they just trolled his Facebook and saw pictures with him in a relationship with someone else. And they're like, oh, this guy's obviously gay. We don't want gay people tickling. This is a straight person sport, right?
Straight person sport. Yeah, okay.
So they're like really insulting this guy, going super aggro on it. So what David does is he watches these videos and he just like, fine, whatever. I'm just going to write an article about how silly these videos are. Like, I don't need the interview. It'd been nice. Fine, whatever. I'll move on. He writes the article. Maybe like a week or two later, these, about 3 guys, one of them is like a Steven Seagal type guy, like leather jacket, ponytail, tight jeans, cowboy boots, that type of thing. They show up and they basically corner this guy at his home, at work. And they're like, we flew to New Zealand from America. You need to stop this. You need to stop looking into Jane O'Brien Media.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So they're like threatening this guy to stop looking into these tickling videos. Like really heavily insinuating violence if he doesn't stop this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sick of all these leftists thinking that this is an open sport. Competitive tickling is only for the right of mind.
So after they leave, the journalist, David, he decides he's going to travel from New Zealand with a camera crew to LA, and he's going to try to find these guys.
Nice. Fuck yes.
So he's driving around LA. He's asking around. He's trying to find people. Everyone's stonewalling him. And eventually he finds the address where Jane O'Brien Media is. But he discovers that the media place that they gave is a fake address. And they are hiring production crews, specifically one production crew, to pay college-age kids large sums of money, sometimes upwards of $2,000 a shoot. They could be even more than that, just to participate in what they called competitive tickling. Like, they'd have like hundreds of people here to try to make it look like a sport, And then they would just like give people jerseys and say, you're on a tickling team with this person. You're going on in 5.
It's like a weird porn thing.
Tim, are you still looking for a job? Because I think this might be the thing for you.
Yeah. So researching the phenomenon a little bit further, he uncovers information about a person known as Terry DeSisto.
Terry.
Yeah. Their other alias. Oh yeah, Terry. I didn't think about the implications here.
And your dad with like a mustache and his black hair.
Yeah,
he could pull off Italian. Like, is your dad Terry DeSisto?
They've never seen both of them in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, and your dad would look killer in a ponytail.
They clip on ponytail.
Oh man, I would pay money to see your dad in a ponytail.
He's always talking about his tickle money. His giggle cash. His silly coins.
Silly coins.
So silly.
His tickle tokens.
This Terry DeSisto person has another alias, which is Terry Tickle. And this person, Terry Tickle, pioneered recruiting and distributing tickling videos online in the early 90s.
Oh, in the 90s?
In the 90s. So this reporter eventually...
That is when my parents bought a new house.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying... I don't know.
They do like to tickle.
Ads after today are going to be wild.
So he finds this guy named Richard Ivy who came, like, they were connected somehow, and he tells this reporter that he was involved as an independent tickling video producer in the 90s for this guy, for Terry Tickle.
Title. Put that on your CV.
And he kind of like says like, I was paid through a middleman. Like they just gave me a buttload of money, and I wanted to break into Hollywood, so I was like, you know, fine, I'll make these tickling videos, and maybe I'll get my foot in the door. That, you know, obviously that's how everyone gets their foot in the door in Hollywood.
Porn, yeah.
He eventually finds a person who's willing to talk to him, an ex-tickler. And he tells a story about how someone approached him and said they'd pay him a ton of money if he would fill a spot on a competitive tickling team that day. They said nothing would ever get filmed. It's just like a silly sport. And he does it. And it goes from like some guys in sports jerseys tickling each other to them like holding him down and straddling him. And like this guy is the one being tickled. And he didn't realize that like he was going to be the ticklee. He thought he was going to be the tickler.
Oh man.
And it, you know, obviously it's all very homoerotic. But the young men who participate, the whole catch for this whole thing is the young men who participate in this competitive tickling ring, they all eventually won out, right? And that's when all the trouble starts because first they try to entice you to stay by offering you more money, giving you cars, computers, you know, that type of thing. But when they refuse, when they refuse, Jane O'Brien Media shows them this file that they have on them of all of the tickling videos they've made, and they effectively dox them. They post it to all the social media platforms. They send the video to everyone they're connected to, their boss, you know, their pastor, their mom, their dad, everything, with heavily insinuating that there's some sort of sexual deviant. And like they get off on this kind of thing. That's how they try to keep these people in the tickling ring. He eventually finds someone who used to be like a recruiter for them in Michigan, and this guy describes audition videos he helped make.
Oh wow!
Where they publish these videos without the participants' consent. And the guy says that, and granted, he's in Michigan. He started in LA. Now he's in Michigan. This Michigan recruiter says that he knows of at least, like, he's just one of thousands of recruiters in America. Like
What?
America alone. Yeah, he's like, there are cells operating all over the country. He's not sure, but he thinks they're international. And he's like, there's at least thousands of the like people like me here in America doing competitive tickling recruiting.
Jesus Christ.
So is there like a contractual obligation or like waiver that they have to sign in the beginning of it? And that's how they have the rights to all these videos and are able to dox everyone?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. They give some identifying information. I don't believe they sign anything in terms of consent. I think they target desperate young men who need money. And then the men, those men also will suffer societal repercussions for, having this information tied to their name on the internet. Because it lives for anytime it tries to get taken down, someone is there to repost it and put it back up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plus, like, if you're like suddenly embarrassed by the fact that you have all this like softcore tickle porn out there of you, like you're less likely to go and like sue these people because you're like, shit, like now I have to go and like to a judge and explain like, yeah, I was getting tickled by this dude in a jersey, but like it wasn't something I was into.
Right.
Sure, I laughed, but I wasn't having fun.
And they've got all the evidence of you having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if all of this before is strange and concerning, that there's like this shadow entity out there recording these competitive tickling videos and holding people hostage. But things take an even weirder turn when the reporter David and his team discover documents on a defunct tickling video website that they had been poking around on that link Jane O'Brien Media to a guy named David D'Amato. So they go digging around, finding out records for a guy named David D'Amato. Well, it turns out David D'Amato was a former, he worked as a school district employee on the East Coast somewhere. I think New York.
Oh man.
Right? He was a school administrator. Turns out he's the one behind the screen name Terry Tickle. Because he used to use it on message boards in the 90s, posing as this woman Terry with a female avatar and everything, trying to talk to men and exposing them to tickling, right? So they learned all of this because D'Amato served a 6-month prison sentence for disabling computer systems at the 2 different universities that he worked at and was attached to in retaliation against an 18-year-old male student who attempted to terminate an online relationship that D'Amato coerced him into while working as a school administrator.
Wow. There's some sick fucks out there.
Yeah, seriously. Jeez.
So they determined that D'Amato, they find out that now he lives on this like substantial inheritance that he got from his dad, who was a successful lawyer. And like when he has like a substantial inheritance, it's like enough money to like spend millions of dollars every year and still like it'd be a drop in the bucket. Like the dude has like fuck you money.
Wow.
But he gets out of prison. Not, like you don't hear from him for years and years and years, and all of a sudden the tickling stuff starts popping up back online, right? And they know that this guy's good with computers. He's very into tickling. He went to prison for it. Then he got out and became super rich, and he became so rich that he can effectively become a shadow entity behind the world's largest, most elusive tickling ring. And he sells these videos to clients who commission him for specific requests on like different combinations of people tickling people in different areas or different ways.
What the fuck?
But he is predominantly his own client. Like he finances most of these videos for himself.
Oh man, he's smelling his own farts.
Yeah.
He's getting high on his own supply.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
like rule number 1. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they want to like try to find this guy and interview him. But this whole time, the thugs from Jane O'Brien Media keep showing up and threatening them at every turn. Basically, like, they get more and more aggressive, and they're like, you know, you better stop, or like, hey, those are nice kneecaps you have there, right? But after finally they stake out like this David D'Amato's guy's like favorite coffee shop, and they like wait there until they finally see him coming out, and they like ambush him on the street, and they're like, hey, David D'Amato, like, what's up with all the tickling videos? He gets really mad, and then he like threatens legal action, right? He drives away in like an unmarked, like black tinted SUV type thing.
Wow.
And they basically never get to talk to him. So what they do is they like compile all their evidence, put it together. They make this like documentary about it, and they premiere it at South by Southwest. The bodyguards at South by Southwest catch and evict from the theater the Jane O'Brien Media people who have been intimidating them the whole time because they are wearing disguises trying to infiltrate the theater to get in to this premiere.
Jeez.
Like fake mustaches. Like...
It's 3 of them stacked on top of each other with a really long trench coat.
Yeah.
God.
But they missed David. David was in the audience the whole time this documentary premiered, and after it was over, the reporter got up to do like a Q&A afterwards, and David like gets up and shouts that the film was a piece of garbage and full of lies. And after he says his piece, he just like walks out of the theater, gets into like a train of unmarked SUVs with black tinted windows, and drives off.
Fuck.
Yeah. So to this day, they can't really prove that it was David D'Amato that is behind Terry Tickle and like all of this stuff, like the contemporary version of it. But the tickling videos still went on. They still continue on today. But the wrinkle in all of this is David D'Amato, he died of a heart attack in 2017.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But
and there's like new videos being released right now.
new videos. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It lives on.
The legend of Terry Tickle
Yeah.
carries on.
Yeah, it's like the dreaded Pirate Roberts. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, the mantle transferred to somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
To my dad.
Right.
To Terry Turney.
Yeah. So it's you know, it's one of those things where like you see something weird on the internet and you laugh at it for a second, but then when someone takes the time to really dive deep into it, you're like, I didn't need to go that deep.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck, people?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Jeez.
that lends credence to Tim's original point, though. Like, the world broke in 2012 because,
Yeah.
like, if you would have told me before I looked into all this that like there's a shadow entity out there manipulating the strings of underground tickling, I would have been like, come on.
Come on, what do you take me for, a fool?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now with like such good like CGI, you can only imagine the damage they would be able to do with like deep fakes.
Oh, yeah.
Like if it's ruining college kid lives, imagine what they could do to like higher powers.
Yeah.
Even if they kept the majority of the college kids, imagine if they put in like a current or former like congressman or woman.
Ooh.
Right.
Like,
Oh man.
it only gets worse with time.
Yeah.
What? Okay, which 2 people being deep faked in a tickle fight would you masturbate to?
Ooh. Well, it's got to be men because this
Yes.
is only
It's
men.
only
for,
men.
yeah, it's only for hetero men.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Rock.
The Rock? It's a very quick answer there.
No, I was putting words in Tim's mouth.
No,
Oh, yeah.
obviously this guy doesn't know what I'm into. The Rock is too close to my same size, so
Right.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, yeah, he's close to my height. Yeah, it's not going to work. A Ryan Reynolds,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and maybe like Elijah Wood.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I was actually going to go Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay,
and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine Tom Cruise already does this,
Yes.
so he doesn't need to be deep faked.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Trying to think of something that is not only flattering to me, but also comedic enough to where I won't be too judged for it.
Oh man, you're giving it way too much thought, Frank. These are off the cuff answers,
Right.
I'm gonna go with Ben Shapiro
And his sister, Addison Shapiro.
I'm gonna go Ben Shapiro and Fetty Wap, just to see how interesting I could get it.
There you go. All right. Yeah, Chris, where are you at with this?
Oh, I'd say Charlie Day.
Oh yes.
Charlie Day and who else? Chris Evans, but he has to have Abby Shapiro's feet.
I didn't know we were doing like a Build-A-Bitch type situation. Like I can customize everybody.
No, I only get that because I went last.
Yeah, Chris pulled an audible on us.
Yeah. So I mean, be careful out there, and if people are offering you more than $1,000 to tickle someone in an LA studio, it might be too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
So I think the people have been waiting too long. It's time for us to unveil Frank's first ever appearance on the podcast. He has been telling us he's got something really juicy for us.
Well, after having to be the closer of the situation, I'm starting to feel a little more obsolete since you guys had such good ones, and mine is just such a doozy. So,
should we have Frank and Addison change seats so
Yeah,
that we
that's
get
good.
peak audio during this?
Okay.
Sure.
Having my beverage there. Yeah, that's the one.
all right, so before we begin, I have a couple things that I need to make sure you guys are all familiar with. So,
Okay.
Are you all familiar with the hit 2013 movie Pitch Perfect starring Anna Kendrick?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes.
fuck yeah.
That's the
And are you guys all familiar with the tragic event of 9/11?
I've heard of it.
remind me how it goes a little bit.
It's something that happens when you call 911 so often.
Uh-huh.
So here I'm going to try to convince you guys with enough evidence that Anna Kendrick's Pitch Perfect movie is a secret nod to 9/11 being a conspiracy.
Okay.
I'm here for it, but
Yeah.
be careful because that's the love of my life that you're talking about.
It is also the love of my life. So
9/11 is the love of your life.
the Bush administration is the love of Tim's life. Okay. So the first time I saw Pitch Perfect, it was in 2013. One of my friends had told me to see this new Anna Kendrick movie about an a cappella competition. Like anyone else, I had seen Kendrick's earlier films, and I knew her reputation as expressionist and genius toiling away in modern-day Hollywood instead of 1920s Berlin, but Pitch Perfect was clearly her masterpiece. Also around this time, I was just so happening to be watching the Room 237 documentary, which is about The Shining and all the weird parallels and hidden nods it had within it.
Oh, okay.
So you could clearly see the parallels. Kendrick and Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick, Kendrick, Kubrick.
Okay. I see the connection.
I then realized something. Pitch Perfect has nothing to do with Becca or Jesse or Chloe. It's clearly a film and in protest against 9/11.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
So the movie starts, and what are the odds of this? That the first opening scene is about the competition, which takes place in none other than New York City.
In New York, where concrete jungles where dreams are made of.
So it opens with the Troublemakers, the all-male group, as they do a choreography of an airplane. There's also a woman in the crowd holding up a sign that says "Acapella is my co-pilot."
Oh.
And the Bard and Bellas, the all-female group featuring Anna Kendrick and all the other main characters,
stewardesses.
they're dressed as flight attendants.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Wow.
So then, upon this investigation, I went back and started doing the math. So the Troublemakers came out, and they have 9 guys. 9. Remember the number? 9.
9.
Okay. The Bard and Bellas come out, and they have 11 members.
These
Oh.
bitches.
Shit. So Pitch Perfect is about 9/11.
Wow.
Great, all right? But what is Anna Kendrick saying about it?
Oh.
Think about the bus trip in the film where the Bellas are on their way to the semifinals and they start singing Miley Cyrus. It's a great scene in the movie until you realize they're all singing Party in the USA.
Uh-huh.
And Becca, who spells her name with 1 C because she's alternative, is into it as well. And then they stop singing because the bus runs out of gas. Some critics may say that it's because Fat Amy forgot to fill it up after being hit by a burrito. But it's also because there was a party in the USA up until September 10th, 2001.
Oh.
Wow.
When the Bush administration decided it was time to get more fuel, i.e. gas, i.e. oil.
Wow.
It's crazy. So earlier in the movie before that, Chloe overhears Becca singing the song Titanium in the shower, and Becca is surprised that Chloe knows this song, to which Chloe replies, "Have I been living under a rock?" Living under a rock?
A rock.
Or as Kendrick would spell it,
Oh.
IRAQ, Iraq.
Oh. Fuck.
So maybe Bush orchestrated 9/11 as a means to invade the Middle East. Or maybe it's the exact opposite. See, Kendrick is always playing with the idea of symmetry. People don't realize this, but the entire screenplay is a palindrome. Kendrick wants us to see something backwards so that we can understand it forward. Take the song Turn the Beat Around. So this is a song that the Bard and Bellas constantly sing to their own aka detriment. I think what Kendrick is asking us, no, what she's telling us, to literally turn the beat around.
Turn the beat around.
Turn beat around and you get Taib or possibly Taib.
Oh my god.
So what does this Taib mean? One Google search later and the first result is I lost it. Hassan Taib, the head of the intelligence bureau for the Army of the Guardians of the Islamic Revolution in Iran.
Oh my gosh.
Kendrick is waving her arms at us, telling us that we have it wrong. 9/11 was not perpetrated by the CIA. If anything, it seems like 9/11 was a carefully coordinated attack by Muslim extremists, also known as Al-Qaeda. But then again, we know that Kendrick is a Freudian, which leads me to, you guessed it, the mainstream media. When Kendrick actually goes to the formal audition, she does this cup song, which Addison likely explained at the beginning, or did explain, not likely it happened. And she performs it on the ground. Also, if you looked at it as a graph, the ground would be 0. Ground 0. But think about what song everyone sings. Kelly Clarkson's Since You've Been Gone, a.k.a. American Idol. A.k.a. American Idol, IDLE, a.k.a. We Did Nothing to Stop 9/11. But one of the judges on American Idol was Harry Connick Jr. When is his birthday? You guessed it, September fucking 11th.
Oh my god.
The year doesn't matter. How long was Harry and the rest of the Connick Juniors working with the Taliban? Well, consider Becca's romantic foil, Jessie, played by Skylar Astin, with a sort of dashing flamboyance. Jessie teaches Becca about the power of film by forcing her to watch, you guessed it, The Breakfast Club, a movie starring Judd Nelson. Take their 2 names, for example, Skylar Astin Lipstein is equivalent to Judd Asher Nelson in this equation.
Yes, it is.
That equation, after you spend a few hours studying it, is actually an anagram for Lost Planes Rained Jihad in U.S. Sky equals RSTLNE. You don't have to worry about the second part. Those are the letters that you're not allowed to guess on the bonus round in Wheel of Fortune.
Oh.
Which is on ABC, which is owned by father company Disney, and is hosted by none other than Pat Sajak, which rhymes with hijack. Does Anna Kendrick think we're stupid? Does she think we won't notice? My final piece of evidence to support this claim is Pitch Perfect 2. 2 is in Roman numerals is II. What else has 2 I's? ISIS. That is the continuation that I have with the secret, not so secret thing that the Anna Kendrick is responsible for 9/11.
Wow.
Now, there was also some others that I would like to just loosely touch upon because there was such a hard thing to choose from. Like, for instance, why didn't Australia warn us about 9/11?
It's a whole day earlier. Yeah.
One that was in high contestants for this one, because mine was kind of short, is that we're all not living in a simulation, but we're all living in a ketchup commercial.
Okay. I mean, I use ketchup tonight. I mean, I made myself a vegan Impossible Burger, and yeah, put plenty of ketchup on that bad boy. Some veganese, a little mustard, dill pickle slice.
Very nice.
Sounds pretty good until you realize that big ketchup controls you.
I mean, I buy the 3-pack at Costco.
Yeah.
Like, go through that stuff.
So this is from Reddit r/conspiracy theories from a user anime lover 997 that says, "What if we're living in a ketchup commercial?" So the Redditor post, "This Friday, I was at my high school eating school lunch and saw someone sitting across from me with a large stack of 50 or so ketchup packs."
50?
I like to imagine that they're the what are they called? The squeeze and dip ones.
Oh yeah.
So it's like pyramid up towards like the top of their head.
Like from Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
Like your boy Scott W would give you a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They were from the school condiment section, and at that moment my brain jumped to the conclusion that any normal person would conclude. We are actually in a ketchup commercial. This was only furthered when I went to get ketchup for my sandwich and I realized there was no mustard.
Oh.
I then realized, what if this is just a goal from the government, who is being controlled by the advertisement makers to stop mustard from ever rising? Now you might be asking, why have I waited these 2 days to share my findings? It's because the advertisement is trying to silence me.
That makes
But
sense.
I will not be silenced. Then I did research and realized that human blood is actually red. Now ketchup's color is also red, which means that as babies, they're injecting us with ketchup to further brainwash us.
I mean, you can't argue with facts.
You can't argue with Big Ketchup. They know everything.
Yeah, it all comes down to research too, right? Because you can't argue with the fact that they've done research.
Yeah, and once you do your own, like, you'll come to the right answer, which is the same answer that we've all come to.
Right. Is that this is just a ketchup commercial.
Yeah. It's a ketchup commercial that ended in 2012, or it's still going because of 2012. We'll never know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It just changed brands from Hunt's to Heinz. Yeah.
And Chick-fil-A from CHICK to CHIC. They don't have the CK in there.
Isn't there like a politician who is like heir to the Heinz fortune?
Oh, I don't know. Is there?
Maybe it's Tucker Carlson, but
Is he a politician?
I think he married. There's somebody like on the right that married into like the Heinz fortune.
Yeah, I think you're right about Tucker.
Yeah.
What's with his fucking bow ties? That's what it's like. They're always so small. It's like he borrowed them from like a bat mitzvah or something.
Right.
Yeah. If you had to choose between marrying into the Heinz fortune or marrying Abby Shapiro's feet, which one would you pick?
Oh, Shapiro's feet.
Can I cover Abby Shapiro's feet with ketchup?
Yes.
Could do whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Frank. I feel like you just dropped some truth bombs on us, and I will never be able to watch Pitch Perfect. Ever. But now if it's ever on, I'll never look at it the same way again.
Stay woke.
Yeah, stay woke, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's been really fun. I hope that everybody's learned something. We've given you some well-researched, really based in fact. I wouldn't even call them theories at this point because we've proven them to be like truth,
Right.
conspiracies. So you go out there and do your own research, but we basically gave you enough to have done research on your own.
Yeah,
And,
you can quote us. We'll allow you quoting us as having done research.
Yeah.
And if you happen to write papers upon us and your teacher says we're not credible, just tell them to give us a call.
Yeah.
Or write into the podcast.
Right. Yeah. At what's that email?
ptpod@gmail.com.
No.
pt.podcasters@gmail.com.
I have
right.
it saved to quick email, so I don't ever have to type it in.
I'll put it in chat here.
Yeah, and I'd just like to thank everybody who joined in on this like inaugural live stream.
Yeah, inaugural.
How do you say?
Yeah, you said it right.
It's close enough. I think this is going to be like the format moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going to release the edited version on through Apple Podcasts. We're also going to release this version, the video version on YouTube.
Mm.
Chris, what's our YouTube? Can you put that in chat also?
Yeah, I'll link that in chat, and then I'll also find out what that link is for everyone on the audio stream as well.
Yeah, so that'll all be in chat. You can follow those. The video, like immediately in the next like month or so, we're going to release this version, the whole hour and 40 minutes so far. It's going to go up in YouTube. And then eventually it'll be edited down to match our 1 hour audio podcast. So if you want to get these longer formats, you like this, make sure you join us here weekly, Monday nights on Twitch. If you want the shorter, tighter hour long, but you still want to see our beautiful faces, check us out on YouTube. And if you just want these sweet baritones in your ear holes, you definitely follow us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher,
Beyond Pod,
yeah, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're fucking everywhere.
We're on it.
Yeah.
And make sure if you're so happen to have an Amazon Prime account to go ahead and link that to your Twitch account, which you should be using.
Yeah.
And use your Amazon Prime gifted sub to us.
Yeah, we would absolutely love that. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for all the followers we picked up tonight.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Just a few of those. We got Hatch Fiend, Rob Cox, Armor Fatty, It Real Beck, Spooky Keef, a bunch of hosses with different numbers and names after them. Maybe they changed their name a bunch, but
It's all of David Hasselhoff's alt accounts.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that one. And if you want to leave us a voice message that we can feature on the show, you can go to ptpod.fun and you can send us a voice message. I can't think of anything more fun than doing that. But otherwise, we'll be here same time next week, and we hope to see you. In the meantime, this has been the Part-Time Podcast. My name is Chris. Don't quit your day job.
This is Tim. We live for you, and we die for you.
This is Frank. Make sure you stay woke and stay happy.
And this is Addison. If you see a friend, tell a friend.
All right.
Cue that outro.
Thank you, the 5 or 6 people that stayed.
Yeah, at one point we were up to 10 or 11.
We double digit.
Yeah.
You okay? You've been dancing in your seat for like.
I am so caffeinated right now.
Yeah, you were like scratching this behind.
I know
me.
it was like 7:30, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go soon."